Welcome to EdgeGuitarLessons.com. I just want to give just some basics to maybe help you to think about recording a lot of your material that you do on a guitar, singing, vocals, songs that you write. Of course, there's the written material that you can use. You can use musical notation, tablature to record things or write things down. But there's nothing like having a recording of your music. And of course there's lots of ways to record music. You can have a simplified way of a device like this, a Tascam DR100 recorder that basically has stereo input and condenser microphones, very sensitive, will pick up you breathing across the room, to less expensive little devices such as this Olympus recorder. It's mono, but it'll record your information, whether it's playing acoustic, electric in a room, or singing a song. So it lays down your information. But if you're going to step up and you want to get involved with recording software, I wanted to lay out this diagram here so that you can see what you need to get your songs, your music, whether it's acoustic, electric. The acoustic could be plugged in, or it could be recorded through the microphone as a vocal is. So there's more than one ways that you can get your information into your computer. But I thought I'd make this diagram so you can kind of see what you have to start with for recording. And let me see here. I know there's a glare there, and I apologize for that. But I was going to try approaching this one way, but evidently. Okay, so let's start with a guitar. You need a guitar. It's an analog piece of equipment. So there's the analog signal there, and or a microphone, and then you plug it into a DAW, digital audio workstation. It goes to an input. Both your microphone and your guitar will go into a DAW. There's different types of DAWs. Here's one here that I have. It's a Sonar V Studio 100. The guitar can go in here. You got microphones here. Record and so on, buttons, different functions that you can do. There's a Boss BR800 that has built-in microphones on each side, works very well also, and it has built-in drum machines and effects on that one. I do a lot of recording with that. It's simple, easy, I can get to it. I don't have to hook up to the computer, and then I can transfer the information over into the computer via USB and or a card. But that's what a DAW is, digital audio workstation. It converts an analog signal from your guitar or mic into a digital signal. Okay, it's wise if you can have one that you're going to need powered speakers so you can hear. It's the best way to do it. You can use a headphone. I'll go right into your DAW. But the best way to do it is if you have speakers, because then you get a real speaker sound to see how the actual recording sounds. So you got a guitar or a mic. You're going into a DAW. It comes in analog and it leaves. You can hear it via headphones or powered speakers. It leaves there, and I would suggest a USB. And there's Firewire ones out there that they sell. The older ones are Firewire, and I had a lot of trouble with those. USB seems to work the best. So get a DAW that's USB. That's how it works off of USB. It goes into your computer. Your computer also has speakers, and if you don't have the speakers for the DAW, there's ways to make the sound come out of here. But it gets a little tricky, and that's why I said if you can afford those, that's great. If not, use headphones, and if not, there's a way to make it come out of your computer speakers. I know it sounds challenging, but that's just the way it is. Okay, so now then you must have a driver that you get with the DAW. It'll have a CD, or you get it offline. Most of the time they have a CD with them. And the driver allows the DAW to talk to the computer, so you need to load the driver. You also need recording software that usually also comes with the DAW. Make sure it's got a good recording software package. Either Sonar, there's other ones that they give away free. They give you an entry-level version, and then of course you're going to want to upgrade, is what they're hoping that you do. But you need a software package that has recording software on it. Okay, and then once you get it loaded and you should be able to connect, you should be able to then turn on your recording software, and your recording software should be able to see and speak through the computer to the DAW. So and then you'll have tracks all lined up. I'll show you here in a minute. And there's an input for a track and an output. And the input will be from the DAW, and the output, that's where you can turn on and make it come through your speakers, or you can make it do a lot of other things. Then you'll record on the tracks, and you'll see how that works. So in short, you need a guitar, a mic, some kind of input. It goes into a DAW. The DAW goes into the computer via USB. You go and get some recording software, or the DAW should have come with recording software. And the DAW, if you can, afford some speakers. Get some powered speakers. They should, in other words, you have to plug them in because the DAW usually don't have the power to run speakers, so you have to have powered speakers. Okay, it's going to cost you some money, so you should be able to get away with headphones and or working it through the other speakers on your computer. So that's a basic setup of how it works. I would, if you are unfamiliar with recording, I hope this will help you understand you need these pieces of the puzzle to make things work inside your computer. You cannot plug your guitar straight into the computer, and so this is the way that you have to do it. You have to have the device that turns the analog signal that comes in to a digital signal, so it'll go through the USB into your computer. That's how it's got to work. I'll go ahead and add a video now and show you what the recording software. While you're watching me, okay, I'm not embarrassed. We'll be fine. If you see this white cable coming out of the back of the DAW, that is the USB cable. Okay, it's also plugged into some powered speakers that I'm going to have to turn on here in a second. There's a switch behind these monitored powered speakers, and I'll turn that on in a second. But I wanted you to see we're basically going from the guitar. The guitar is going in to the wah-wah. The wah-wah's going into this pedal. The Pod X3 Live. The Pod X3 Live is going into my looper. And my looper is going in directly into the DAW. Okay, and then the DAW is going to turn this analog signal that comes through here. It's going to turn it into, actually it's already digital by the time it reaches here, but that's another story for another day. But anyway, then the USB is going to go down into my computer, and I already got software loaded. Turn on all my pedals, connect it to my guitar, turn this on, my DAW, lights come on. You should hear, when you hear that noise, it's a good noise, okay? That's the noise you want to hear, because if it goes da-da-da or some other noise other than ta-da, you got a problem, and it could be a software issue that you didn't load your software correctly. Something's not speaking very well. That is the signal that the DAW is talking to the computer. Okay, so it's a good thing. I only say that because I had spent many an hour working with da 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 da, and that meant it wasn't going to talk no matter what I did. So you must load the driver for the particular DAW that you're using. And if you did it right, and then when it turns on through the USB, you should hear that sound. I use a particular kind of software. I've gone through I've had Pro Tools 10, and I was kind of a novice still yet at that point. And I had a lot of trouble with all the things you had to turn on and off. It was more for a professional that's been doing it for many years. Sonar X3 seems to work very nice for me. It's more user friendly, it seems to be. There's all kinds of software out there that you can use. Okay, so without any further ado, let me turn on my speakers here. Okay, that's a cool picture, by the way. Alright, so I got my speakers turned on, the blue light's on, right? Where is it? Oh, wrong one. There it is. There's my blue light. I got a blue light there. Everything's looking good. Let me hit my guitar. Okay, and they're coming through the monitor speakers. That means it's going through the DAW. Okay, and so that's looking good. On some DAWs they have an HZ button that if you're going to be using something that has a pickup in it, they want you to turn that on, and it kind of helps filter out and not blow this unit up, because there's a lot of power coming through. So this is a way that if it's a active pickup, then you or passive, it don't matter if it's, you know, a guitar type pickup, this has to be pushed in for that. This is the volume and sensitivity of the input from the guitar, actually through the pedals. And then if I had a mic, I can put a mic here. These are the controls for the mics and the different channels that we got. There's the little card that it'll be recorded on here as a WAV file. Then I can take it over to my computer if I wanted to just record here without the USB. And then headphones. So headphones is a useful feature if you don't have any speakers. Okay, so now let's turn on my Sonar X3. Turn it on. Here it comes. I'm holding the camera in my hand, so because I want you to see everything. So it's loading up, and this is a typical screen that you'll see on most recording software. And it usually asks you what kind of project do you want to open up. Do you want to, let's see if I can zoom in. You know, do you want to open a project, open a recent project, create a new project? We're going to create a new one, okay? So boom. I'll just name it video Y-O-U-T-U-B-E, video YouTube. Okay, so you just name it something so you can identify it. Okay, it tells you where it's going to be saved at. In my particular case, it's on my C drive in a video YouTube folder on the desktop. Okay, so I just hit OK. So what happens next is that little circle appears, and thus here comes the workstation where you work out of. Okay, Sonar is a little bit high tech, but it's all basically the same kind of stuff. There's always things that you have to know about within any particular software. With this, with most of them, you have to insert tracks. There's no tracks in here yet, so I'm going to go up here, insert an audio track. I usually start off with 3, just for the sake of having 3. It's better than 1, and it's more than 2. So I just added 3 tracks. Now to see if it's speaking, if my guitar is coming through here, I'm going to go ahead and arm one of the tracks here with this red button. So I arm it, and then you can see it turns red. This one's not red. And the area that we're just looking at here, that track is red. Okay. Let me open up this other track so you see there's 3 basic tracks open. Only armed 1. I can play, so what I'll do now is I'm going to look over here and see if I hit my guitar, if I see any kind of green light. and you barely see one there. So evidently it's coming through. Probably want to turn it up and turn this down. My monitor's down. And I'm on track 2, so I want to go to track 2 down here at the bottom. And I'm going to look at my tracks. It's on stereo. I really want to have it mono, so that the recording is coming through as a mono signal on both tracks, because technically these are all tracks. Okay, so now I should see, you can see it, they're both coming through on the as one track, or both stereo tracks are being activated because of what I selected as input there. And I did that down here at the bottom by selecting my input. There's the top one, my MM device. There it is. It sees the VS100, and I just put it on the left side. And I know you would think, well, ain't it all going to come out of that left speaker? No, that ain't how it works. So it's coming out of both speakers because I chose one. If I put it stereo, because it's a mono coming in, it looks at it as a mono, and it would go on one track. It's kind of the opposite way of thinking, but that's how it works. Okay, so I got my tracks. I can go in here and also look at different things to make sure the right things are turned on. It shows that my VS100 is there, which is good in the device. The driver's good. Everything looks good there. Playback and recording. What else do I look at? And then record. When I go into the project here and hit record, I can have it where I am comping, which means in that mode I can take several takes, and it'll take all of them one right after the other. I can overwrite if I click on overwrite, and it will overwrite every time I restart the recording. Or sound on sound means it's just going to keep recording over and over the same track. So I'll just leave it on comping. That's a new feature with Sonar X3. I don't have any MIDI devices in there, but if you did, you'd look in here and it'll tell you what to look at, and you can tell it what kind of device that you're dealing with there. One other thing I look at is under audio is devices. They're all checked, which is good. There, boom, 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 boom. Where's that other one? Oh, here. Okay, under MIDI devices, I only want this this particular device that's plugged in. It does see it, but I only want it to be used as a control, not as a MIDI. If it was as a MIDI, it would actually act as a piano. All the buttons would be whatever, you know, MIDI device you think it thinks that it has. So that's good. Okay, that's good. Control surfaces, I do want this to be in control. I'm telling it I want this to be the thing that controls on and off, play, and so on. So I click VS100. It did see it. Sometimes it's not there and you have to restart it. This one seems to take it okay. So now it's accepting everything I said. And before it used to pop back up again, but now it looks like it's accepted. It's new with X3 producer. Okay, so that means because I chose control that I should be able to use these devices. If I hit this red button, then it would be the same as hitting that red button right there. I don't know if you can see my mouse. See it? There's the record button there. This is the only one that's of my tracks. This is the only one that's lit up. So that means that's the only track that's going to record once I hit this button. That track is not armed. That track is not armed. So this will be the only track. So I'm just going to strum my guitar, but I'm going to start the recording from here, and then strum my guitar, and then we'll discuss what occurs after that. So see, it did accept it. And then I stopped it with my finger right there. I hit the stop button, I hit record, it started recording, hit stop, and let's see what we got. So it did record it. It is very low for whatever reason. I'm not sure at this moment. So sometimes you gotta fiddle out. Okay, I think I found out what it was. It was the I didn't have the recording up loud enough on the DAW, so it just wasn't a loud enough signal to make a big registry on the device. So I think I still got room to burn now, and I can crank things up. I think you've seen that I can adjust the volume. So anyway, that's basically how you get a track in. And then how many tracks can you put in? Probably on this, probably 50 million. You just keep adding tracks, and then you can render it. You can, what do I got to do then? I go here. If I want to so anyway, the way you get it out of here is, this is actually a new program for me. So, export audio. So I export it there. It'll export as a WAV file. You can actually select MP3, and it will export it as that. It tells you where it's going to be exported to, and that's pretty much it. You do have to at least click on the tracks that you want to export. Okay, if I wanted all of them, I just click on one and hold the button down. Same button, the left button. You hold it down so it turns blue, and keep it held down as you're dragging over the tracks that you want to be exported. And whatever's lit up green right there, that's what's going to be exported. Okay, so you can do vocals. This thing has the ability to insert drums, MIDI, all kind of stuff. I mean, you wouldn't believe everything it can do. It can add a drum set. It shows you the drum set. It's loading it right now. And just play a ton of stuff. Okay, so you want something like that added to your mix. Let me stop it here. Right there, boom. I just take this and drag it over into this track here, and I can stretch it out as long as I want. And so that drum thing is there. You can adjust speeds and all that. So okay, I think I gotta turn that on, boom. Okay, and then I thought that's all I had to do was drag that over. Oh, gotta drag it down one. Put it down there in the S1 drum kit area, right there. Now it'll play it. Okay. I put it in the wrong track. That's a hit song if I ever heard one. So you can add that. You can add strings. You got MIDI, 1001 MIDI sounds. Sonar has a ton of stuff that you can add. You can do your whole production from here. Okay. So anyway, that's basic recording. I hope you enjoyed it. It'll get you at least entry level. A lot of software that you get for free has this basic stuff in here with some basic drums and things like this. You load tracks, add tracks, and make sure you do some research before you go out and buy stuff, because talk to the guy in the audio department or read up online or something, because you can buy something that's going to be an anchor weight. Okay, it's just going to be an anchor that you're going to throw away. So anyway, God bless. Thanks for watching EdsGuitarLessons.com. I hope this helped you a little bit, maybe understand a little bit how do you get started recording. Take care. Bye.